Wi-Fi though? I got some OTHS. I got something here. OTHS. They got a Wi-Fi. No telling what the password is. It's OTHS.
Not a clue. See, box keeps on turning red, then glow, then orange. It says we're on because I got a notice on my phone.
Yeah, but you were probably on for a second.
And very good afternoon, everyone, as we welcome you to O'Fallon High School, site of the Girls Class 3A Regional Soccer Tournament, as we get you set for your Collinsville Kahawks taking on the Southwestern Conference champion Belleville East Lancers. I am Todd Duke alongside Chris Kettler. We welcome you into the Chiropractic Works pregame show here on the Kahok Sports Network. Chiropractic Works, owned and operated by Dr. Chris McCluskey. He and his crew are focused on helping as many people as possible live high-quality lives, all through chiropractic care and wellness. You can visit Dr. McCluskey at Chiropractic Works in Collinsville at 410 Regency Center, just off of the Beltline Road in Collinsville, or you can call 343-3602 or online at chiropracticworkscollinsville.com. Collinsville comes into this contest with a regular season mark of 11-9-3, while the Belleville East Lancers come in with an overall record of 9-5-5. Collinsville finished at 3 wins, 2 losses, and 1 tie in the regular season in the Southwestern Conference, and Belleville East finished with 3 wins also, but only 1 loss and 2 ties. So Belleville East, virtue of just the 1 loss and the 2 ties, edged out Collinsville, Alton, and Edwardsville for the Southwestern Conference Championship, as all 3 of those teams finished 3-2-1 in Southwestern Conference play. And Chris, I had a chance to talk to Collinsville's head coach Clay Smith a little while ago, which everybody's going to get to hear. But you know, the one thing on that record that seems to be the big blemish everyone's talking about is that game against Edwardsville.
Yeah, I went down there and talked to him myself about that after the Kahoks beat Belleville East so close in that Edwardsville game. Took the lead twice in that game, and then only saw Edwardsville tied up there with 30 seconds to go. I mean, it was a game that was a long time ago now and long forgotten, but it did kind of end up costing the Kahawks in the end for the conference championship.
And they get ready to face Belleville East, a team they just faced last Thursday. So 2 teams that, you know, are directly familiar with each other, not just because they're Southwestern Conference foes and they play each other every year, but they just played each other just a few days ago. So, and that's not the first time this has happened. We've seen it happen in other sports and this sport as well. But, you know, it does make it kind of weird to come back and face the same team that you faced just a few days ago.
Right, you got a whole conference schedule there, and you see some teams earlier and other teams later, and just happens to fall down that these 2 teams got paired up in the first round of the playoffs. It's happened before. It'll happen again with only so many teams here in the Southwestern Conference, and they're always going to get paired up in the first round of the playoffs.
Well, as I mentioned, we had a chance to talk about those things with Collinsville head coach Clay Smith, and we'll pass that conversation along to you next as the Calvert Game Show continues here on the Kahok Sports Network. And we welcome you back into the Chiropractic Works pregame show here on the Kahok Sports Network. We are in O'Fallon tonight. It is the start of the girls' Class 3A regional semifinal action as Collinsville takes on Belleville East, and Collinsville head coach Clay Smith joining us now on the program. Coach, this is a team that you just played last week, so I guess not that you had not familiarity with the team before, but all that's out the window now.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I think both teams had their best 11 game, meant something as far as conference standings were concerned. So I wouldn't say until at least like the last 12 minutes or 10 minutes when we got a final PK did both coaches start using their bench a little bit. So yeah, but it'll be a different game today. Same girls, different phase, different game face on, everybody ready to win.
All right, well, let's talk about that game for a minute because it was your season finale leading into this. Good game by you guys. I mean, you beat them 3-0. You had a couple of penalty kick goals by some of your key girls, and more importantly, only 3 shots allowed for the whole entire game. So defensively, you guys did a stellar job.
Yeah, we made a statement defensively, and that's what we need to do, especially against a team like Bubble East who can score, and with a player like Grace Brower up top. She's phenomenal in the metro area for scoring goals. She has a knack for scoring. She's going to Xavier to play soccer because she can score, and we did a good job. But we know that we can't limit ourselves into that because she'll eventually break free. And Claire made a huge save on her in one of those 3 shots. So playing tonight, play tight defense. Don't give them much space, and don't be so quick to foul, and hold your ground and see what happens.
And you guys spent inordinate amount of time in the offensive zone. You guys were all over the place. 20 shots on goal against them. So the game plan kind of going to stay the same tonight: attack, 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 and defend.
Yeah, absolutely. We want to defend well tonight and counterattack fast. And I feel like those are 2 keys that we've improved on all season long. So obviously, it's a great time of year to kind of be rising to the top there and playing well. But yeah, I feel like if we can get them behind them and attack the right players with our speed and with our versatility in the air, that we can get some quality looks on the goal.
We talked about, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 weeks ago at the Granite City game about how they had 4 girls, the same girls scoring goals game after game after game. And after that, other girls kind of stepped up and started chipping in some goals, and that's kind of nice to see when you get to this time of year because you're going to need more than just 4 girls.
Yeah, and that's exactly, and you're going to be scouted well, and you're going to be marked hard. Teams are going to know your main threats, so other girls need to step up, and we've done that. And I've kind of stepped out of my comfort zone and playing girls in different positions to where they feel comfortable too, just to change things up and playing positions. That's the one thing about this team. Normally, by this time of the year, we're pretty set in our ways of where we're going to start and how we're going to play. But anything can change with this group. We have the versatility to change our formation and to move girls in and out of the lineup, especially now that we're healthy. So it's exciting.
And, what's exciting is I can't even believe it's already here. It's the first day of the playoffs. This season kind of went by quick. Chris Kettler went up and I talking in the booth before I came down to visit with you about the season that was. And really the only thing that stands out in our minds is kind of the bummer of the year is that Edwardsville game. Does it kind of just stick there and gnaw at you a little bit? Yeah,
I mean, not only we played well. Obviously, you hate to allow 4 goals, but at the same time, we learned a lot from it. Defensively, we gave them those last 2 goals where we played the ball, and it eventually cost us a conference title, in my opinion. So, and we just talked about it on the way here pregame. I don't think any of our losses we can't really hang that the other team really did so much to deserve the win. It's what we did not to deserve the win and to get the loss, and those are things that I feel like we've corrected. So we haven't won 4 games in a row all season. We just won 3 games in a row. So now's the time to go, and you have to win them now. So.
And we welcome you back to O'Fallon High School, and we apologize as we are dealing with some technical issues up here, but I think we have them all ironed out. And we apologize to the folks at Chiropractic Works because we were probably unable to air the entire pregame interview with Clay Smith, the head coach for Collinsville, so we're going to air that at halftime for you so you all can hear what Coach Smith has to say. But we are ready to go as the national anthem has been played. The teams have been introduced. For Belleville East, Grace Tantillo will be between the pipes once again. In front of her will be Lauren Busher and Maddie Busher. Kiera Bridges, Haley Harlan, Haley Epperson, Cecilia Maui, Olivia Lee, Annie Brown, Grace Brower, and Joey Grawl. For Collinsville, Clara Rendelman will be between the pipes for the Kahawks. In front of her, we will have the same 10 players that we had Thursday night in the season finale in Collinsville. Jalen Richardson, Courtney Martin, Destiny Johnson, Katie Knutson, Faith Liljegren, Alyssa Tucker, Paige Bauer, Riley Harris, Bella Hensler, and Maria Voss. Of course, in the game on Thursday, 2 goals from Destiny Johnson, one of those a penalty kick goal, and then the late goal with about 5 minutes and 48 seconds left to go in the third. Courtney Martin scored on a penalty kick goal, and all in all, Belleville East only had 3 shots on goal. It was a very stellar job, Mr. Chris Keller, by the Collinsville Kahawk defense.
Yeah, the defense was a solid rock back there for the Kahawks, turning Belleville East back around every which way, and then the offense turned it right around real quick, attacking on the other end every time they got a lot of shots off. It took 20 saves for Belleville East to only hold it up to 3-0.
Belleville East is the home team here this afternoon. They are the ones dressed in all white. They have some numbers in sky blue, a little bit of sky blue. But speaking of sky blue, Kara Rundelman down there in the goal for Collinsville has on sky blue colors. So she looks like almost like she's playing for the other team. While Grace Tantillo, once again, just like Thursday, long pants and long sleeves in this 90-degree heat. We are underway, and right off the bat, the ball ends up going out of bounds. I never did have time to adjust this, so let's zoom in just a little bit here. All right. We are underway. And again, a big thank you to the folks at Chiropractic Works, Dr. Chris McCluskey and his crew, 343-3602. ChiropracticWorksCollinsville.com is where you will find them online, or just stop by 410 Regency Center. That is where the office is located, just off of the Beltline Road in Collinsville. Here is Knutson. Knutson gets the ball up to Faith Liljegren. Liljegren, as Collinsville is wearing their all-purple uniforms today with white numbers on the backs. As Liljegren moves the ball up, here is Annie Brown trying to step in front of Courtney Martin. She does so, and then helped out again by, I believe that was Olivia Lee, Cecilia Maui, who ended up kicking that ball out of bounds. So the throw-in comes right directly underneath our location here by Riley Harris. We're just underway, no score. First game of the regionals. This was originally scheduled for Wednesday at 7 o'clock, and the O'Fallon Belleville West game was supposed to start at 5 o'clock on Wednesday, but everything was moved as Liljegren bounces one off her head, and Tantillo comes out to collect the bouncing ball before Liljegren could get there to do any further damage. So today is this game. Tomorrow is the Belleville West O'Fallon game. That's also at 5 o'clock, and then the winner tonight and the winner tomorrow will meet here on Friday evening.
So the winner of this one will get a much longer layoff, more time to prepare, and sit back and watch the other 2 teams go at it tomorrow.
And I'm sure they will be here tomorrow to watch the game between the 2 schools that will face the winner of this game. And if they get it underway, we understand we are in for some thunderstorms tomorrow, and we actually have some on the way right now, as this whole area has been put under a severe thunderstorm watch until 10 o'clock tonight. Right now, the last I checked the radar, storms are out around Columbia, Jefferson City in Missouri, but they are headed this way. So, of course, we will keep all that in mind tomorrow because we have girls softball action scheduled for you tomorrow afternoon at 4:30. I would hate to see them redo all the scheduling here and schedule a game on Tuesday because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Belleville East is graduating or something's going on tomorrow where they couldn't be here. I know that Collinsville had some academic honors that they had to take care of, so that's why they couldn't be here on Wednesday. So a lot of this got shifted for Collinsville, but I believe a lot of it was for Belleville East as well. So Here we are on a Monday, and it's a hot one. Claire Rindelman gets rid of the ball all the way out to midfield off of Knutsen's head and into the Collinsville offensive zone. And then the Lancers take care of that, send it right back out to midfield where Katie Knutsen is in a fight with Grace Brower, the leading scorer this year for the Lancers. And the ball ends up out of bounds on the far side of the field anyway. Don't know if they're going to have a mandatory water breaks at any point during the game, but once they do, we'll figure it out because they'll blow the whistle and all the girls will head to the bench for a little refreshment. A little pressure being put on here by Belleville East, and that was a nice job to get that out of there. Using her head was Paige Bauer, and now the ball comes out toward midfield where Belleville East is just trying to send it back to their defense, and here is Annie Brown once again. Brown trying to race around Destiny Johnson. She does so with a pass. Speaking of pass, Lauren Busher, a nice pass over on the far side, but a nicer job by Riley Harris to chase that ball down defensively and thwart any kind of an offensive attack there by Belleville East. Now Collinsville sends it back up to midfield. Here is Destiny Johnson trying to pop it up into the midfield area for either Richardson or Martin. Gets past Richardson. Back out to midfield. Destiny Johnson with a defender on her back. Breaks out. Has the ball taken off of her foot. And Destiny trying to repay the favor against Lauren Busher, but instead Johnson's going to get called for a foul. We are about 5 minutes into the opening half between Collinsville and Belleville East. These two teams just met Thursday night. Collinsville won 3-0 in convincing fashion as the Kahawks outshot the Lancers 20-3 in that win. Here's a free kick by Harlan. Gets stopped at the point of contact up at the front of the box. Now Collinsville gets it all the way back out to midfield. Here's Liljegren. Liljegren races up, gets it up to Jalen Richardson. Richardson on the left wing, centers one, but centers it too high and too far over the net. And out of bounds it goes. Let's thank the City of Collinsville while we have a moment. You can check out the City of Collinsville's Facebook page for information on upcoming events in Collinsville. They have their Movies on Main schedule already set for the year. June 9th it opens up with Despicable Me 3. June 23rd they have the Lego Ninja movie, and so on and so on. They have all their movies scheduled through July and August as well. If you'd like to find out the full schedule, you can check out the City of Collinsville's Facebook page. And as always, the City of Collinsville is a proud supporter of the Collinsville Unit 10 School District and wishes all district athletes good luck this sports season. Here's Harlan getting it underway once again with a goal kick restart off of the head of Knutsen up to Richardson, and now back up the sideline and out of bounds off of the body of one of the Lancers. So Collinsville will throw the ball back in. They do so in front of the Lancers bench, and Faith Liljegren over there trying to wrestle it away from Olivia Lee. Now the ball just ends up all the way up the far side and across the end line. And another goal kick restart coming up here for the Lancers.
It wasn't much of that ball, but it still went 30 yards over the goal line and even kind of against the wind.
Yeah, we do have a wind here. It's blowing from our right to our left, and it's a steady wind. Nothing really super gusty like it was last time I was here for a game. But still a little bit of a breeze right now going into the direction of the Lancers, so they'll have the wind at their back for this first half. Again, not much of one. Puffy white clouds across the blue sky. Temperatures right around 90 degrees at game time. Humidity is skyrocketed. It is sultry out here. It's only supposed to be 75 this time of year, so it is about 15 degrees above where it should be, when last month it was about 15 degrees below where it should be. We haven't really had a spring. We went straight from the winter to summer, it seems like. Out of bounds on the Lancers. Throw in coming on the far side from Bella Hensler, and that came right back to her off of a body. And Bauer now gets a foot on it. All the way up to Maria Voss. Voss doesn't get it very far, and Destiny Johnson trying to wrestle it away. She can't. Comes out to the middle for Olivia Lee. Lee trying to work it up for Brower. Brower over on the right wing. Sends the ball in off of the shins of Paige Bauer and across the end line. So the Lancers will have the first corner kick here of this game. And, Chris, this is a little bit different than the last game on Thursday night because, really, the Lancers have been spending more time in their offensive zone than Collinsville has.
Yeah, definitely more time in Beverly East offensive third here, but they really hasn't really translated any shots just yet. So not too big of worries yet for the Kahoks, but they'll be tested here on this corner kick.
Here is Haley Harlan with that corner kick. She sends it off of the head of Brower. And back out front.
Paige Bauer goes for the ball, and she hits the deck, and
Paige Bauer, slow to get up over there, but she finally does so. And now the ball bounces around out of bounds, and it'll be in the Kahoks' possession. Time to thank the Collinsville Education Association. The CEA is your partner as they work to ensure quality education for our children. The CEA advocates excellence and equity in public education. For more information, you can visit the Collinsville Education Association's Facebook page. I'm Todd Duke. Chris Kettler is manning the camera. We're glad that you're with us here on the Kahok Sports Network. Regional semifinal action. Class 3A girls soccer playoffs underway. Take 7 wins to hoist the first place trophy. Win number 1 is the first step, and that all begins here for Collinsville tonight as they try to make it back to the state tournament for the 4th year in a row. Free kick coming from about 50 yards away. Bauer stops it right in the front of the box, and now over on the far side trying to chase it down is Hensler. Hensler does get the ball up to Liljegren. Liljegren with that burst of speed up the sideline trying to find, and she does, Jalen Richardson on the far sideline, cutting it across to Courtney Martin. Martin trying to work her way around Maui, and a shot on goal is going to go wide, and that was the best pressure that Collinsville has had thus far in this game.
Yeah, first Liljegren leads Richardson up past her defender there, and then Richardson able to work it over to Martin, but Martin just puts off the slow, tough angle shot.
Yeah, she had a Cecilia Maui right in her hip pocket, so not a lot of room to work with. As once again, Belleville East has a goal kick restart. This one makes it close to midfield. Alyssa Tucker then sends it back into the Collinsville zone, and then Belleville East sends it up. Lexi Munoz with it. On the far side, trying to leave it over there for Hensler. Almost left it for Epperson instead. And now the ball right back at midfield. Maddie Busher over on the far side trying to wrestle it down. And another whistle on the play, and this one's going to go against Collinsville.
Liljegren gives too much of a shove there. Clears off the East player, and East will get the foul. The Lancers will take this free kick from the football 40-yard line.
It's on the way, and in the box, trying to chase it down is Brower. Puts a shot on toward the goal, but it's wide and high. And that is the best opportunity that the Lancers have had so far.
Sent in the box there, and Brower was able to control it after it rolled off Kahok, and her shot does just go wide.
Goal kick restart here for Collinsville. This will be Maria Voss. Sends it out toward midfield. Down off of the body of Alyssa Tucker, and then over to the near side. Courtney Martin trying to chase it down. She does so, gets there right before Maui does, but the ball ends up finding Annie Brown. Now Brown clanks it off of the shin of Jalen Richardson and out of bounds. So the Lancers will have a restart here as we make a substitution for Belleville East. Alexis Kiernan coming off.
22 maybe? 22.
22. I do not have one of those. How about that? Probably a JV girl who wasn't on the original varsity roster is going to be my guess, and I didn't bring a program. I didn't grab a program because I got here too early. They weren't giving them out then. At any rate, here is Munoz with the ball. Sends it back up toward midfield. Picked up over there by the Lancers, but Destiny Johnson will take care of a ball that was off of a leg and sends it a little bit too far for Courtney Martin to do anything with it. So the Lancers throw it back in. Here is Maui off of the head of number 22, and then Brower had to go off the back of her head, and then eventually it goes out of bounds. Lots of folks decided to come out here in the heat, checked out this game. As the school year winds down, last day of school for Collinsville is a week from tomorrow. Play at midfield. Hensler sends it up. And it's sent right back to Hensler. She'll send it back up again, trying to give it to Liljegren on the far side sideline, but led her just a little bit too far, so it's going to be a throw-in for Haley Harlan. And a picked off throw-in by Hensler, who gets it up to Richardson, grazed off of her head, and then back to Annie Brown, the defense for the Lancers. And the Lancers finally send the ball back up to midfield off of the body of Grace Brower. Brower trying to slow the ball down, get it to a teammate. She finally does. Defense sends it all up. Knutson trying to send it back up. She can't. And then Riley Harris sends it over to the near side sideline where Courtney Martin saves it from going out of bounds, then gets banged into by Annie Brown. That draws a whistle. And Collinsville will have a free kick, but it's going to be from just about at midfield. Taken by Voss, up to Johnson. Destiny Johnson makes her way toward the goal. On the right wing, puts a shot on. It grazes off the leg of Brown. And Tantillo had to move a little bit to her left to make that save on a deflected shot there, if I can speak correctly.
The initial shot was just going to go wide, but it went off of Brown's leg and made Tantillo just go over to the left to get it.
Bouncing ball in front of the Kahok bench and into the bench. Thrown back in by the Lancers. Ball at the feet of Lexi Munoz. Munoz sends it back trying to find a teammate. Instead, she found one of the Lancers instead. Now over on the far side, Faith Liljegren in front of her bench. Looks, surveys, moves. Still up the sideline trying to get around Harlan. She doesn't, and the ball ends up going out of bounds off of Liljegren. So now Harlan will get the throw in. And now Collinsville sends the ball up and clogged up a little bit there at midfield, but they find Emma Coring. Coring gets the ball up to Lauren Busher. It's taken off of her feet on a nice play by Riley Harris. Harris trying to thread a pass into Courtney Martin. Destiny Johnson comes up with it instead. Now Courtney Martin trying to race it down before it goes out of bounds. She does. Puts a shot on, and Jalen Richardson has it go off of the knee and up and over the net.
Tantillo sold out to die for it there. She missed it. It hit Richardson's foot first, and she just sent it too high. But it was all set up before that, but Martin saved it from going out of bounds at the last second.
That was a nice hustle job there by Courtney Martin. Nice passing job by Destiny Johnson to get that ball up to her. And it almost turned into a goal. 23:40 left to play here in this first half. No score between Collinsville and Belleville East. Let's thank the All-Pro Tees folks. At All-Pro Tees, that's your place for custom apparel for your school, your business, your sports team, and more. All-Pro Tees offers a variety of services and options. They'll walk you through that process step by step as they pride themselves in being a local Collinsville business, and they specialize in helping that business grow, all with custom apparel. All-Pro Tees right across the street from Kahok Stadium, online, allprotees.com, or call 344-2200. Another free kick coming up here for the Lancers from about 60 yards away. Low kick right into the leg of Alyssa Tucker. Now the ball loose, comes over here and finds Belleville East. With it now is Lauren Busher. Busher loses control. Out of bounds it goes. Courtney Martin will throw it in here for Collinsville right at midfield. Up the near side sideline, trying to find Richardson, and instead it is off of the head of one of the Lancers. And now we have exchanges coming up for Collinsville as Michaela Chrisman checks into the game. Riley Harris checks back in. Courtney Martin and Alyssa Tucker to the bench for a rest. Got to get them in and get them out and get them some water.
Yeah, you mentioned that water break earlier. I imagine they will be doing that.
We'll find out here probably in about 2 minutes.
Probably, yeah. In a minute or two, they'll take advantage of that if it's possible.
Yeah, they're not going to blow the whistle right at 20 minutes left on the clock when somebody's racing down the field getting ready for a scoring opportunity, but they'll probably blow it here in the next couple of minutes as we'll be halfway through this first half. 21:40 remaining in the first half right now. No score between Collinsville and Belleville East. Each team has had one good quality shot on goal. A couple of other ones that were a little bit lower of quality, but nonetheless at the goal. Now the ball over on the right wing, and tumbling down over there was one of the Lancers. That allowed Collinsville to get the ball back, but then they turned it over inside the box, and over on the far side sideline, Hensler is just going to kick it out of bounds for another throw-in into the box. And a shot toward goal, and Rindelman makes a breadbasket catch as she moves from her right to her left. And with 21 minutes left, that was a good shot on goal by Belleville East, but Rindelman saw it all the way.
Yeah, but the Kahoks just struggled to clear the ball out before that, and that's what kept Belleville East in it there to get that shot off.
Here is Paige Bauer. She moves the ball up, trying to get to the offense, but it skips past the forwards and right to Annie Brown. Over on the far side for Harlan. Harlan moves it up, but there is Riley Harris to send it back into the offensive zone, and now off of the foot of Faith Liljegren and out of bounds. So the Lancers will get the throw in from the far side of the field with about 20 minutes, 20 seconds left to play here in this first half. They might not give them that water break. I wonder if anyone even discussed that with the referees beforehand. Throw-in comes right at the end of the Belleville East bench. And over on the far side, Grace Brower. Brower, 22 goals on the year. The next after her and her team was Harlan's 4. Here is Annie Brown. Right behind her is Chrisman trying to pick that pocket. Can't do it. The ball gets sent upfield. And now to midfield. Comes back to Munoz. Munoz gets it right back to where it came from. She puts it up past the circle for Knutson. Knutson was trying a little sideways kick there to try to find Riley Harris, and Harris eventually is found by Destiny Johnson. Now up to Faith Liljegren. Liljegren in the middle. Sends it back to her defense. That's Paige Bauer. Bauer sends it up and off of the body now of Annie Brown for the Lancers. Right onto the feet of Lauren Busher. Busher getting challenged over there, and now Knutson gets her foot on it. Sends it up. And Chrisman, no call from the push from behind there by Maui on Chrisman. And a bouncing ball comes into Tantillo, and she handles it with no problem at all. 19 minutes left, so I'm guessing they're not going to do the water break here in the heat and humidity. That's okay. As long as both teams are aware of that and both teams are all right with it. Maybe that's why you see Coach Smith getting his girls in and out of there so early in this game. Bauer banks one off the backside of Lauren Busher.
Yeah, if they were going to take it, they would have definitely been doing it right now, about now, if not before. So we'll continue on the play.
Courtney Martin will come back in. Jalen Richardson will go to the bench to get her water break. And Paige Bauer will throw the ball back into play. Up the near side sideline, off of the body of Chrisman, and then she tried to kick it back inbounds and save it, but out of bounds it went, so the Lancers will have the ball. And it'll be a throw in here by Cecilia Maui. Lancers with it. And they send it up into the offensive zone. Now Brower is going to come. And she's in the middle, trying to get around a couple of defenders as Collinsville trying to thwart off this offensive push. Now the ball on the far side. Nice job by Bella Hensler to get there and shove that ball out of bounds across the line and relieve some of that pressure.
Yeah, it was Hensler and Voss right there just pretty much double-teaming Brower, denying her and making her look behind her to find the open player, and went out of bounds.
Lancers in their offensive zone trying to set something up. They send it back to the midfielders, and now Harlan on defense sends it over to this side for Olivia Lee. Lee has the ball taken off of her foot by Destiny Johnson, who leaves it for Chrisman. Trying to find Courtney Martin. Martin and Annie Brown get tangled up, and who are they going to call that on? I think Annie Brown kind of inadvertently smacked her in the face.
No call was made.
No.
And then the goalie just made her kick, and then Martin is just laying there the whole time.
Yeah, she got inadvertently smacked in the face by Annie Brown, and she might have a bloody nose after all this, as Courtney Martin sits there, and a couple of her teammates come up to check her out and make sure she's okay.
I thought the near official with the flag had made some kind of call, but they didn't even stop play for whatever his call was, and then they still even continued to play with Martin down and injured.
Yeah, I think now they're going to send off all teams, and they're going to go for a little bit of a drink break. So we'll step aside for just a moment here on the Kahok Sports Network. Todd Duke and Chris Kettler back with you here from O'Fallon. Collinsville taking on Belleville East here in girls class 3A regional semifinal action. Courtney Martin inadvertently took a slap to the face by Annie Brown as both were going to chase the ball, and I think that caused some bleeding around the facial area for Courtney Martin. She's on the bench getting that taken care of right now as we're back. And we are back in action, and Belleville East sends the ball back into the offensive zone, and Collinsville will have to chase it down, and doing just that is Lexi Munoz. Yeah, they didn't call any foul on that play or anything.
Referees upset everybody on that whole series. Collinsville gets a player down, but at least want to know why it was a drop ball to restart there. But we're past it now, and hopefully Courtney Martin will be back in the game.
She's being checked out over there by Amanda Bauer, and hopefully will be back in soon. Lancers with the ball. Here is the aforementioned Annie Brown. Brown has that ball shoved off of her foot and out of bounds by Jalen Richardson, so another throw-in coming here. And first we have a substitution for the Lancers.
Number 9.
Harlan back into the game and immediately has the ball off of her body and then out of bounds. So Collinsville will get the ball back. They will throw it in. It will be Paige Bauer taking care of the honors as Collinsville sends in a couple of more. Vyosa Baluli checks into the game for the first time, and back is Alyssa Tucker. Chrisman and Harris to the bench.
Baluli in there for the first time with Martin out there hurt. That kind of substitution they've been making with Chrisman and Harris and Tucker, and changing up the forwards too.
Annie Brown sends the ball back into the east offensive zone, chasing it down. Hensler for Collinsville. All the way over onto the far side, sends it up that sideline over there to Liljegren. Liljegren sends it in the middle for Katie Knutson. Knutson sends it over to this side for Baluli. Baluli moves the ball up quite well to Tucker. Tucker trying to find Liljegren. Finds her in front, and they're going to call it offside anyway. There is no way that ball was offside.
No, it just seemed like she was step for step with the defender before Baluli sent the ball.
Wow.
If at the worst, it was very close. But
Collinsville fans highly upset about it, as now the ball is placed down.
That'll be the call, offsides.
Yeah. Placed down about 30 yards in front of the goal occupied by Tantillo. And Harlan sends it past midfield as the Lancers get it right back into their offensive zone. Munoz trying to chase it down and trying to get around Alexis Kiernan over there. And that ball ends up crossing in the end line. Last touch by Collinsville, so another corner kick coming up here for the Lancers. Let's thank my friend Peyton Blaylock. He's with RE/MAX Alliance. He wants you to know that it's okay to buy and sell real estate. Mortgage rates are still at all-time lows. No one knows any of that better than Peyton Blaylock with RE/MAX Alliance. You can call Peyton today at 780-4622 or online, Peyton Blaylock at remax.net. Looks like Maddie Busher is going to be taking this corner kick instead of Harlan. Here it is, coming from Maddie Busher. It's high in front, off of the head of Annie Brown, popped up into the air, and it's going to end up out of bounds across the inline after that. So give the ball back to Collinsville. Courtney Martin still sitting on the bench, but Amanda Bauer is not tending to her any longer. She's sitting there with some kind of a towel or something.
Holding to her face.
Holding it to her face, so we hope that she gets back in. Need your senior captain out there. Here is a throw in by Liljegren. Too far for Richardson, but it comes to Destiny Johnson. She tries to lead Richardson with a pass, but that was rejected. And now at midfield, Beluli trying to let it skip off of her leg to Tucker, but a little too far. Now Knutson with it. Tries a little side kick and trying to find Destiny Johnson. Now Johnson will get a loose ball after Knutson chipped in. And now the ball into the box all the way over on the far side. Here is Faith Liljegren trying to get around a defender. She does, puts it in front. Richardson right there trying that back kick. But Tantillo was up to the task and took the ball right off of the back ankle of Richardson before any further damage could be done.
Kicked it in with the back of her foot there and just hit the leg of Tantillo as she was outstretched. And then she was able to corral it into her arms with a save.
At midfield, Destiny Johnson takes over for Collinsville, sends the ball up to Liljegren. Liljegren trying to settle the ball down, and she'll send it over to this side. And up for Tucker. Tucker being bothered there by Grace Brower. Brower did a good job getting that ball back to her defense, so they can try to attack on the offensive side of things. Voss sends the ball back up to Annie Brown. Brown cuts across midfield and sends the ball all the way up into the box where Claire Rindelman will scoop it up. And we'll have a goal kick restart here. High pop fly comes down at midfield. And off of the face of Beluli, but she barely flinched. Now back to the defense. And Voss inadvertently kicks the ball out of bounds, trying to go forward with it. 11 minutes left to play here in this first half. No score between Collinsville and Belleville East. A far different feel than the game between these two teams on Thursday. Collinsville controlled all of the offensive play on Thursday, and the Lancers only ended up with 3 shots on goal, but it's a different game this go-around as there's more at stake. Here is Knutson. Knutson moves it up to Jalen Richardson at midfield. Richardson trying to get around Annie Brown. And she does so, but it ticks off of the side of Brown's legs as Richardson was trying to find Riley Harris streaking up that far left wing. Now here is Destiny Johnson, who takes the ball away up to Richardson. Richardson puts a shot on goal, and it goes wide. Probably one of the best opportunities Collinsville has had as that ball was headed in the right direction. Not sure if Tantillo would have been over there to get it if it would have tried to sneak in that near post, but it goes wide anyway.
Richardson couldn't be too selective with it. She split the 2 defenders. It wasn't going to have much time. Just had to send any shot she could.
Harlan with the goal kick restart here for the Lancers. Headed right back by Beluli. And then Brown sends it back out to midfield. Chasing it down over there is Bella Hensler. Hensler sends the ball up the near side sideline to Harris. Harris trying to reverse it and send it up to Destiny Johnson. She couldn't quite find it and ended up losing it out of bounds. on the far side. Ball comes in. Voss off the head. Johnson off of her head at midfield. Down to Alyssa Tucker, to Johnson. Johnson moving the ball forward. Sends the ball up into the box. Oh, it gets right past Annie Brown. Here is Richardson. She shoots. She scores. Jalen Richardson breaks the deadlock, and the Kahawks lead 1-0.
Defender Brown just watched Richardson and all that. Left her plenty of time to square that shot away for Richardson, and she buries it in.
8:49 left in the first.
So the big break comes there for the Kahawks with Martin waiting to come back in. She gets in now. The Kahawks get the goal with her out of the game.
Big assist there by Destiny Johnson. Nice pass, even though it did graze off of the leg of Annie Brown. Destiny Johnson picks up a very important assist. Collinsville leads 1-0. We want to get back to work and get some more now as the Kahawks go back and play some defense.
Yeah, Beverly's controlling it down here now. They'll throw it in. But we'll have to go take the other way with it here. Kahawks look to clear it out.
There's Brower. She's dangerous in front. Ooh, that was a nice block there. That was a fantastic block there by Maria Voss. In the right place at the right time on purpose. Lancers trying to put on some pressure and get that goal right back. Here is Maui. Maui just runs right into Paige Bauer. And she'll get whistled for it there. Collinsville will get the ball back, as they'll get a free kick from about 90 yards away, but still, that takes away that offensive pressure that the Lancers were putting on. Maui and Brower talk about it on the way upfield. Now the ball gets loose and back into the defensive side of things. Here is Munoz. She will just let Rindelman come up with it. And Rindelman will send it back out right before Harlan got there. Harlan playing defense, pinching up on the forwards there. That ball comes all the way out to midfield, has a little spin action on it. And now off of the body of Alyssa Tucker. Tucker sends it up for Riley Harris. Harris finds Courtney Martin, who's back into the game. Martin over on the far side, cuts it around the middle and tries to thread a pass over to Michaela Crispin, but led her just a little bit too far. Nice to see Courtney Martin back in there.
Yeah, she came in there right after the goal. I think she thought Voss thought she was, or Crispin thought she was going to get let in, and Martin instead sent it out wider, and it leads it to just go out of bounds.
So Harlan will get another goal kick restart here. With 6:35 left to play in this first half. Ball sent back down into the Collinsville offensive zone. Crispin could not get there before it bounced out of bounds. So it'll be a throw-in restart coming up here for the Lancers. Annie Brown has it roll off the back of her body, and then Jalen Richardson couldn't quite get there in time, and now Annie Brown down onto the ground. And now here comes Brower trying to outrace Voss. And Voss holding her own, and oh, there's a shot, and I don't think Rindelman was ready for it.
No, I think I thought Voss was going to get Brower cleared off there, and then when Rindelman looked back up, Brower still had the ball, and Lancers get the tying goal back here with 5 minutes and 50 seconds to go in the first half.
So that lead did not last long. Less than 2 minutes. 1-1 is our score. Lancers and Epperson brings the ball up. Jalen Richardson, wrestles it away from her.
Brower just had to win the one battle there with Voss, and it leads to the goal very quickly for Belleville East.
Back at midfield. Collinsville and their defense sends it on back down off of the head of one of the Lancers players. Now Richardson to Liljegren. Liljegren dances around one of her defenders, Miranda Brockmeyer there, and gets the ball up to Courtney Martin. Martin gets taken off the ball. That ball is across the inline, and Collinsville will have their first corner kick coming up here in this contest.
Ball went right down the middle of the two defenders for Martin, but then Bridges just cleared it out there for Beverly East. Collins will get their first corner kick.
And the Lancers did something that they could not do Thursday. That's score a goal. So we are 1-1 as we have about 4:50 left to play. Here's the corner kick from Richardson off of the head of Annie Brown, and in front, Liljegren tried to cross it in front for a better opportunity for somebody wearing purple and white, but that was sent out by the Lancers. Now over on the far side, Hensler trying to get it back up for some more offense. Here's Alyssa Tucker. That is off of the body of Lauren Busher over on the far side and out of bounds. We'll do it all over again. Riley Harris ready for the throw-in. Harlan up to Brown. Collinsville's midfielders stop the progress, send it up into the box. Chrisman trying to chase it down. Over here on the right wing, sends it back to Bauer. Bauer pops one high into the air, and Tantillo is out and clamps her hands on it before Richardson or Martin could do any further damage. And with 3:40 left, we remain 1-1.
Kept trailing farther and farther away from the goal to the goalie's right, and she was able to stay with it.
You know, Bauer wanted to get more of a line drive on that one than that baseball pop fly that she got. Sometimes it just hits the wrong body part the wrong way and goes a different direction than what you wanted it to.
Had the distance, just started trailing away at the last minute.
Rindleman comes way out of goal. Sends that one back to midfield instead of scooping it up, and off of the head of Annie Brown, now off of the foot of Bauer. Bauer over to Hensler. Hensler trying to get the ball up into the offensive zone. Here is a battle down front with Courtney Martin involved, and Collinsville gets the throw in. Martin sends it up the sideline trying to find Chrisman or Liljegren. That ball never did make it very far. And now the Lancers come up with it. Here is Grace Brower. Brower sends the ball up, but we have a whistle on the play.
Hey, this is soccer, okay.
Did it hit a hand? Is that what happened?
No, they just called Liljegren on the foul there. Not a whole lot there, but
I thought I heard him say this is soccer, not handball. I don't know. Harlan is going to re-kick it with 2:15 left to play here in the first half. 1-1 is our score. Rindleman comes out after that kick on a couple of bounces, makes it all the way to her. She'll send it out over on the far sideline, off of the back of the head and up the sideline by Riley Harris and then out of bounds. Now the Lancers want to make some substitutions. They do so quickly as we're down to 1:50 left to play here in this first half. Back to action, far side, and Collinsville sends it up to Courtney Martin. Martin trying to get around some defenders. She got held there a little bit, but still manages to get around. Over on the left wing, she's in the box, and she gets taken down by Annie Brown. No call on the play once again, and this time Courtney Martin gets up on her own power, brings her hand to her face and looks at her hand to make sure she's not bleeding again. She appears to be all right, but I don't know. Annie Brown's getting away with a couple of things out there.
If anything, it was contact in the upper body there, not anything that took Martin's legs out from under her. Maybe trying to sell a foul there a little bit, but yeah, there still was some contact.
Actually, I think I'm miscounting Brown. That might have been Kiara Bridges over there, number 4, instead of Annie Brown, number 19. 45 seconds left to play here in the first half. We are deadlocked at 1 apiece. Richardson scored with 8:49 left to play here in this first half, and then Brower scores her 23rd goal of the year. just a couple of minutes later. That goal by Richardson was her 12th.
Kahok's content here to just keep clearing the ball out, and now with just 20 seconds to go, they got to find a ball to get this last attempt in.
Bridges throws the ball in off of a body and out. Munoz gets the ball up to Chrisman. Only 9 seconds left. Not a lot of time to do anything with it. 5 seconds. Chrisman is going to send it on up, and then it's going to hit a body, and that is going to be all she wrote for the first half. Come to a close. 1 goal by each team here in the first half means we are tied going into halftime. And since we failed to let you listen to the full interview of myself and Coach Smith in the pregame show, we'll play that for you here at halftime, and then we'll come back and bring you the second half in just a moment on the Kahok Sports Network.
Plenty of water today.
Works pregame show here on the Kahok Sports Network. We are in O'Fallon tonight. It is the start of the girls' Class 3A regional semifinal action as Collinsville takes on Belleville East, and Collinsville head coach Clay Smith joining us now on the program. Coach, this is a team that you just played last week, so I guess not that you had not familiarity with the team before, but all that's out the window now.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I think both teams had their best 11 on the field. The game meant something as far as conference standings were concerned. So I wouldn't say until at least like the last 12 minutes or 10 minutes when we got a final PK did both coaches start using their bench a little bit. So yeah, but it'll be a different game today. Same girls, different phase, different game face on, everybody ready to win.
All right, well, let's talk about that game for a minute because it was your season finale leading into this. Good game by you guys. I mean, you beat them 3-0. You had a couple of penalty kick goals by some of your key girls. And more importantly, only 3 shots allowed for the whole entire game. So defensively, you guys did a stellar job.
Yeah, we made a statement defensively, and that's what we need to do, especially against a team like Bubble East who can score, and with a player like Grace Brower up top. She's phenomenal in the metro area for scoring goals. She has a knack for scoring. She's going to Xavier to play soccer because she can score, and we did a good job, but we know that we can't limit ourselves into that because she'll eventually break free, and Claire made a huge save on her in one of those 3 shots. So same game plan tonight. Play tight defense, don't give them much space, and don't be so quick to foul, and hold your ground and see what happens.
And you guys spent inordinate amount of time in the offensive zone. You guys were all over the place, 20 shots on goal against them. So the game plan kind of going to stay the same tonight: attack, 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 and defend.
Yeah, absolutely. We want to defend well tonight and counterattack fast, and I feel like those are 2 keys that we've improved on all season long. So obviously it's a great time of year to kind of be rising to the top there and playing well. But yeah, I feel like if we can get them behind them and attack the right players with our speed and with our versatility in the air, that we can get some quality looks on the goal.
We talked about, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 weeks ago at the Granite City game about how at that they had 4 girls, the same girls scoring goals game after game after game. And after that, other girls kind of stepped up and started chipping in some goals, and that's kind of nice to see when you get to this time of year because you're going to need more than just 4 girls.
Yeah, and that's exactly, and you're going to be scouted well, and you're going to be marked hard. Teams are going to know your main threats, so other girls need to step up, and we've done that. And I've kind of stepped out of my comfort zone and playing girls in different positions to where they feel comfortable too, just to change things up and play in different formations. That's the one thing about this team. Normally, by this time of the year, we're pretty set in our ways of where we're going to start and how we're going to play. But anything can change with this group. We have the versatility to change our formation and to move girls in and out of the lineup, especially now that we're healthy. So it's exciting.
And, what's exciting is it's play. I can't even believe it's already here. It's the first day of the playoffs. This season kind of went by quick. Chris Keller went up and I talking in the booth before I came down to visit with you about the season that was. And really the only thing that stands out in our minds is kind of the bummer of the year is that Edwardsville game. Does it kind of just stick there and gnaw at you a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, not only we played well. Obviously, you hate to allow 4 goals, but at the same time, we learned a lot from it. Defensively, we gave them those last 2 goals where we played the ball, and it eventually cost us a conference title, in my opinion. So, and we just talked about it on the way here pregame. I don't think any of our losses we can't really hang that the other team really did so much to deserve the win. It's what we did not to deserve the win and to get the loss, and those are things that I feel like we've corrected. So we haven't won 4 games in a row all season. We just won 3 games in a row, so now's the time to go, and you have to win them now. So it's right there in front of them. But these girls are hungry, they're prepared, and they've been here before. So I feel like that's an edge. People can talk all they want about us and say how much we've lost and how down we are, and we just don't have the knack. But we have a little bit of competitive edge when it comes to the postseason.
And having that experience, people I think underestimate how huge that is to have all these girls that have made 2 or 3 trips to the state level and competed at that high of a level. So that actually may help you guys in the long run.
Yeah, it's nice to talk to, listen to some of these upperclassmen, talk to some of the younger classmen, and explain the postseason to them. And, these high school kids don't know what a regional and a sectional is and the traveling. And I can hear it on the bus, and they say, yeah, if we get by this one, and then we have this, and then the sectional. So it's nice for them to kind of teach the girls, and that just goes from them being there because they've spent their entire first half of their summer for the last 3 years, well, 4, 5, and 6 years because we made it to the Elite 8 before that on buses. So, yeah, it's a nice problem to have for us. I'll take it.
About a month ago, we were talking about how crappy and cold the weather was. Here we are a month later. We went from 43 degrees to 93 degrees in a matter of about 30 days. Any concerns about the heat and humidity and the dehydration?
No, we've been drinking plenty of water today. I was on them today at school pretty hard, and everybody had a water bottle in their hand at all times, and I think we're pretty fit and ready to go for these conditions. So I just hope we can just outlast them and keep going at the end of 80 minutes.
All right, well, you need 7 wins to hoist that championship trophy. It begins tonight. Good luck, and go get them.
Yeah, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
That is head coach Clay Smith of your Collinsville Kahoks. We'll take a break. And once again, we welcome you back to O'Fallon High School. Todd Duke and Chris Kettler along with you. Halftime of this regional semifinal game between Collinsville and Belleville East is all tied at 1 apiece. Collinsville got on the board first. Jalen Richardson hit the first goal of the game with 8:49 left to play in that first half. A nice feed from Destiny Johnson. And then it kind of ricocheted off of the leg of Annie Brown, and staying with the play and the ball the whole way was Richardson, and she put one past Tantillo, for a quick 1-0 lead. Well, not so quick, 8:49 left. But then less than 2 minutes later, about a minute and 48 seconds later, excuse me, the leading scorer for Belleville East, Grace Brower, netted goal number 23 on the year for her. And we are now tied at 1-1. And, Chris, a much different game than the game we saw last Thursday in Collinsville, in which the Kahawks won 3-0.
Yeah, the Kahawks had a lot of chances at the goal of the last game here. They've just got to make the most of their opportunities here. Both teams, it's a 50-50 game really either way, and just whoever gets that last break is going to be the one to come out on top here today.
Of course, the winner of this game will play the winner of tomorrow's game. That is between Belleville West and O'Fallon, set for 5 o'clock. The two teams that win tonight and tomorrow will meet here Friday at 6 o'clock for the regional championship game for a right to move on to the sectional portion of the girls' Class 3A playoffs. That'll be held at Normal Community High School beginning on Tuesday, May the 22nd. That is the last day of school in the Collinsville School District. So girls need to finish their business here and move on. Collinsville, of course, has made it to the state championship level the past 3 years straight, trying to make it 4 in a row. Let's thank Rich's Record Emporium in Uptown Collinsville. Rich has everything from hi-fi to hi-fi. You got vinyl? If not, Rich's Record Emporium does. Great place for you to start a album collection. If you don't have a turntable, they have those as well. They sell turntables and they provide a turntable service. While you're there, check out the Audio Emporium at Rich's Record Emporium, 131 West Main Street in Collinsville. Online, richesrecordemporium.com, or call 200-9287. How was Point Fest, sir?
Oh, it was a very hot day.
Yeah?
They had some very good bands out there playing.
Stone Temple Pilots, Alice in Chains, Shinedown. I wanted to go.
Shinedown and Alice in Chains, yeah, they did very well there at the end, brought the crowd to their feet. It was a good time to watch it.
I know you were there to see Blue October. Did they live up to everything that you expect to come from them?
Yes, they did. They did. They always do. A shorter set there on the backstage of Point Fest, but a good time.
And then you, went to Springfield and saw them again?
Saw them again last night.
Springfield, Missouri last night?
Springfield, Missouri.
Wow.
Full set that time. It was a good time there, a good venue there in Springfield,
Number one
Missouri.
fan you are, aren't you?
Well, I don't think I can get that. Well, maybe in Collinsville.
Okay. Number one fan of Blue October in the city of Collinsville. No one can take that away from you. We are underway in the second half. Collinsville had a little early pressure in the offensive zone, but didn't get enough down there to test Tantillo. And now the Lancers trying to create their own offensive opportunity, but Collinsville's defense is there, and back to midfield it comes. Destiny Johnson trying to play catch a little bit with Alyssa Tucker as Tucker gets rid of a body, and then a nice play there by Kiera Bridges to keep that offensive throttle thwarted for just a moment, but for just a moment it was, as Courtney Martin is in control of the ball all the way over on the far side. Loses control for a second. Comes back to Paige Bauer on the far side sideline. Bauer sends it up into the box. That's headed out of the box off of the forehead of Annie Brown. And now just two defenders back trying to keep the ball away from Harlan. And Harlan almost single-handedly has taken care of a couple of defenders by herself. Finally, Voss gets that ball out of there.
Belleville East will still control it here.
Far side sideline off of a body and out of bounds again.
Now the Kahawks will flip it back here, and we'll get the throw in here about midfield.
Right at midfield. Off of the head of Lauren Busher. And then I believe Maddie Busher over there as well. That ball skirts all the way up the sideline. And across the end line it goes. It's going to be a goal kick restart coming up here for the Lancers, and Harlan will take care of it. That was not Harlan over there doing all that nice work. That was Alexis Kiernan. Kind of hard sometimes when it's far away to tell an 8 from a 9. Kiernan wears 8, Harlan wears 9. Just about 2.5 minutes gone here in the second half. We are still deadlocked at 1. Each team getting one past the other's goalkeeper. In the first half, here is Richardson, who scored the goal for Collinsville off of her. Now Liljegren comes in, takes it, sends it back to Hensler. Hensler sends it up into the middle for Destiny Johnson. Johnson pops the ball into the box, and Tantillo almost over-pursued that ball and had to reach back as she jumped up into the air to grab that ball. It was behind her, and it's a good thing she did, or that ball may have found its way into the goal.
Yeah, Martin would just sidestep her there and put it in very easily if Tantillo wouldn't have been able to jump up and reach behind her to get that ball.
Yeah, she was already in the air and had to take her hands and put them behind her head to grab that ball. Now off of Brown once again to midfield, off of the foot of Tucker, and now a bouncing ball over on the far side. Bauer gets there first, sends it up the sideline to Courtney Martin, and then off of Courtney, right when she was being shoved from behind by Cecilia Maui. And the Lancers, Maui will throw the ball in for a restart. And that didn't last very long as Lauren Busher couldn't handle it. It goes into the Kahok bench, so now Courtney Martin will throw it in. Off of the head of Richardson into the box. Bridges didn't get it very far, but far enough for the rest of her teammates to help her out. Now Bauer sends it back up into the offensive zone for another try. Here is Liljegren, who gets ping-ponged around by a couple of bodies. And then the ball sent back here across the way and back to the defense. Nothing but purple jerseys there. Here is Voss. Voss sends the ball up to Courtney Martin off of her foot over onto the right wing. Martin still in a battle there. Now Brown comes up with the ball. She sends it back up. And Voss once again in a battle once again with Alexis Kiernan. And the Lancers come away with the ball, but only for a moment. Now at midfield, Hensler pops the ball up into the offensive zone, trying to find Alyssa Tucker. She does so. Tucker sends it up and running it down. Trying to run it down is going to be Liljegren, but Tantillo is going to come out to her right and get that ball before any further damage can be done. 35 minutes left to play here in this second half. Let's thank Marshall's Transmission in Collinsville. At Marshall's Transmission, they know how much of a hassle it is dealing with a broken transmission. That's why the friendly and trustworthy staff at Marshall's can help with all of your transmission troubles. Marshall's Transmission handles all types of vehicles. Just bring it into Marshall's. They will thoroughly inspect the problem, and they'll give you an honest quote. Shot by Richardson. Just goes wide. Had a little bend on it from left to right, and when it did, it just ends up going wide. Marshall's Transmission, by the way, can be reached at 345-1930 or stop by their location at 263 St. Louis Road in Collinsville. Richardson had a good bid for goal number 2, but it just goes a little bit wide.
Tough angle. It was going to be hard to keep that in towards the goal as it proved to go wide, but it stayed on course there for much longer than anyone would have thought.
Ball comes out to midfield. Settled down by the Lancers. Hensler comes up with it at the sideline and sends it out of bounds. The unofficial ball girl kicking the ball back over there. Here is Epperson. Gets the ball to Brown. Brown gets her feet tangled up with Richardson. And then a couple of Lancers run into each other, giving Katie Knutson time to find Jalen Richardson. Richardson will send it up into the offensive zone, and it's going to go back to Brown. Nice job there by Liljegren to keep that ball right in the offensive zone. She puts it up into the box, and that ball is going to go across the end line for another goal kick restart here by the Lancers.
Smart idea to see if you could lead Johnson there to the ball, and maybe Johnson could get that crossover to Martin. Just leads it too far.
So Harlan will set the ball down and get us going once again with a goal kick restart. 33 minutes, 10 seconds left to play. Here in this second half, we are in a 1-1 tie. After both goals coming in the first half, about a minute 49 apart by Richardson for Collinsville and Brower for the Lancers. Here is Richardson. Richardson sends it up toward the goal, but it's going to go wide and across the line again. And again, another goal kick restart. Let's thank Brad Keene at Visionary Wealth Advisors in O'Fallon. Brad is a 1988 graduate of Collinsville High School. And he is now a wealth management advisor with Visionary with 22 years of experience. You can call him today for financial advice and planning. Work on your investment portfolio, or if you have a retirement plan or an estate plan, he can help you with that as well. Visionary Wealth Advisors with offices in Edwardsville, St. Louis, and O'Fallon. Call Brad Keene today at 726-3008 or online, visionarywealthadvisors.com. Whistle against the Lancers. Collinsville or excuse me, against Collinsville. Lancers will get a free kick, but it'll be from about 60 yards away.
Fans initially thought that Katie Knutson drew that foul for the Kahoks, but it was called on her. Now Beverly East will have to set the ball farther back.
Kick travels into the offensive zone, and Katie Knutson's head sends it back out to midfield. Courtney Martin trying to wrestle it away there, and does so quite nicely, I might add, from Cecilia Maui. Now to Destiny Johnson. Johnson cuts through the middle, gets around not one but two defenders. Now makes her way over onto the right wing, bumped off of the play by Annie Brown. No call once again. Here is Liljegren on the far sideline, gets it to Destiny Johnson. Back to Knutson. She puts a shot toward goal. That's partially blocked. And then Annie Brown sends it back out to midfield. Knutson has it down once again to Alyssa Tucker. Tucker over on the far side, off of the head of Liljegren into the box. Tantillo comes out and takes out Jalen Richardson once again. And we are going to have ourselves a penalty kick.
Yeah, that was similar to how the Cows got their first goal on Thursday night. Tantillo coming out and taking out Richardson here right now, and see who takes the kick.
It's going to be Richardson.
Destiny Johnson took the first one Thursday night. She took the one last Tuesday against Springfield.
Well, she took the one for Richardson Thursday night because Richardson was hurt on the play. Had to go to the bench. This time Richardson's all right, so penalty kick time here for Collinsville. Jalen Richardson trying to kick the third penalty kick in as many games these two teams have played against each other, both Thursday and tonight. Tantillo's ready. Richardson's ready.
Let me just mix it up here for a different person to take the kick since they had already seen Johnson.
And Tantillo takes it. Rebound. Courtney Martin couldn't quite get there on the sideline. Then Tantillo comes and takes the legs out from underneath Martin. And Knutson will send it out of bounds, and Belleville East survives the penalty kick.
Richardson tried to send it to the goalie's right and high. A little higher, would have got up over Tantillo's hands. Big save.
About 8 minutes into this second half, Collinsville gets a penalty kick but could not convert. Loose ball, and now Brower just slammed down Knutson with a little shoulder check. Getting a little rough out there, isn't it?
Rough sequence there. See if Belleville East
may send that momentum changing their direction, right?
Momentum now, yeah, with the big save.
Collinsville fans moaning and groaning a lot in this game. Not happy with some of the calls going on. Here's the throw in by Bridges. Bridges trying to find Brower, and now Brower is going to get called for running into the back of Maria Voss.
Yeah, pulls down Voss there. A little give and take, and now the Kahoks benefit from a call.
So Voss will send it across the field for Bauer. Bauer up to Johnson, skips off of her leg to Faith Liljegren. Liljegren trying to chase it down, but runs out of room before that ball bounces into the Kahok bench. 29 minutes and 10 seconds left to play here in this second half. 1-1. Here comes the Lancers. That ball rolls. Here's Brower. Brower with a shot and a goal.
Big turnaround there. Kahoks couldn't get back on defense. Minutes after the Kahoks were turned away on a PK.
Actually, that was exactly 3 minutes after they were turned away on that penalty kick. Belleville East has their first lead over Collinsville this year.
Kahoks just got to go back to work here and still got to try to find a goal here and tie it up. 28 minutes to work with.
2-1 in favor of the Lancers. 28:45 left to play, so there's still plenty of time. Here's Jalen Richardson. Richardson gets it into the middle, but then Brown sends it back out. And now it skips over the leg of Brower all the way back into the Lancers offensive zone. Voss will take care of that, though. She sends it up the sidelines and into the Collinsville bench. Liljegren throws the ball back in. Finds Alyssa Tucker. Tucker trying to get the ball up forward. She does so and then gets met by Brown. Brown sends the ball back up the sideline, but there's Liljegren to keep that ball in the Collinsville offensive zone. Now it comes back to midfield. Munoz will send it up here to the near side for Hensler. Hensler does a nice job getting around Epperson. And now Hensler with a burst of speed cuts across the middle. Tries to pass it, but that was partially blocked out. Now back to midfield it goes. Off of a body. Back out front. Here is Katie Knutson. Knutson sends the ball toward the goal. It's up to Courtney Martin. Martin whiffs on the turnaround shot. And then Maui sends it back up off of a body and out of bounds. Collinsville will keep the ball, and it'll be a throw-in here by Courtney Martin.
Hey, Martin just thought she could turn around and fire it in there. Had the defender cast away, but it was blocked off.
So Martin ready to throw the ball back in after the Lancers make a couple of substitutions. Brower is out right now, so here's a loose ball, and in front, Bridges trying to take it, but she is overran by Richardson, and then that ball ends up across the goal line, and it's going to be a goal kick restart as that ball was off of the shin of Richardson. Bad break there. I was hoping that might turn into a corner kick.
First it rolled right down Bridges' back there, but Richardson couldn't find it. Got 1 foot on it and still lost it, and then Lancers were able to clear it away.
Let's thank Mike's Automotive in Collinsville. Mike's Automotive is a T3 certified tire center. They handle all of the basics like oil changes and tune-ups. The not-so-basic stuff as well, like complete engine rebuilds. Mike's Automotive also has 24-hour towing and 3 locations, Millstadt, St. Louis, and in Collinsville. Collinsville location is at 1150 St. Louis Road, just blocks from the high school. You can call 345-0611 or online, mikesautomotive.net, Mike's Automotive on Facebook. Bella Hensler throwing the ball in. 26 minutes and 10 seconds left, and now a call going against Belleville East here will give Collinsville a free kick from about 55 yards away. It'll be taken by Voss. She wastes no time sending that ball up into the offensive zone and off of the knee of Annie Brown. Now down. Harris sends it forward. Defense sends it right back. Voss sends it in off of her head. And once again, Annie Brown in on the play. Brown had the ball pop off of her head and then off of one of the teammates, but you just have a lot of head volleyball going on for right now. Now the ball down on the ground and into the Lancers offensive zone, then eventually into the Lancers bench. It'll be a throw-in restart coming up here for Collinsville. 25-15 left to go here in this second half. 2-1. Lancers with the advantage. And again, a couple of head volleys going on the far side. And ends up out of bounds once again, so it'll change hands this time. A throw-in coming from Harlan. Up the sideline, sent forward by Collinsville to midfield. Now back across this way, and tracking it down is Hensler. Hensler leaving it over here for Courtney Martin. Return trip to Hensler. Gets it up the sideline, trying to find Chrisman, but a little too close to the sideline as it falls out of bounds. With 24:35 left to play here in the second half. 2 goals by Grace Brower has given the Lancers a 2-1 lead. And now a whistle going to be called against Alyssa Tucker for running into the back, and down on the ground went Emma Coring.
Never saw her coming, just got plowed into the back there by Tucker. Easy call.
Ball put back into play by Harlan. And out of bounds off of one of the Lancers players. And now Michaela Chrisman set to throw it in. They make her back up a little bit. And out of bounds it goes again. Collinsville will get to keep it, and Courtney Martin waits to throw it back in here. 23.5 minutes to go. Collinsville needs a goal to tie it up. Ball comes in off of Richardson and then off of a body and out of bounds, and they're going to say that body belonged to one of the Collinsville players.
Get a sub in here. Lancers will bring in substitution from the far side here and still wait for the throw-in.
Alexandra Mueller wearing number 22.
Finally
I forgot
solved that mystery.
I forgot to check at halftime. I just remembered when I saw her out there. Here is Courtney Martin, gets it up to Liljegren, trying to find Richardson. That ball bounces away off of Annie Get Your Guns Brown and to Tantillo. And Tantillo will take care of the restart here. It's out at midfield off of the foot of Destiny Johnson. Now Faith Liljegren trying to corral it and bring it upfield. She spins around, gets rid of a couple of defenders, sends it up to Destiny Johnson. Johnson up the far sideline, has that ball picked off by Belleville East. And now Johnson will come away with it again. Over where the corner kick takes place. It's off of Tantillo's hands out front. Oh, off of a body as Alyssa Tucker tried to send it in on goal. And that was blocked out by accident, I think maybe by Courtney Martin, as she was just in the wrong spot at the wrong time. Now the ball loose, comes out. A couple of girls run into each other, and that involves a whistle.
It was punched out by the last second by Tantillo. Found Alyssa Tucker's foot, and I think the ball she sent in went right into Courtney Martin's shoulder or head and blocked right back out.
Hensler and Miranda Brockmeyer run into each other. I don't really think it was any kind of malicious intent, but they're going to call it against Collinsville, and Lancers will get a free kick restart here, but it's going to be from about 75, 80 yards away. Here is the restart by Harlan. And over Munoz's head as she tried to go for the header, and then Voss comes in, and here comes Mueller, and right to the midsection of Rindelman for that stop there. Mueller had a great opportunity for Belleville East. Couldn't convert. Maybe that'll give Collinsville a little momentum as we are almost halfway through the second half here.
The Kahoks had that 7 straight conference championship streak in by just 1 point, but they also have a
6 year in a row.
6-year regional streak going on. That would, they're trying to get that to 7 here with this regional this week. Headed out by the Kahoks, but stays in a bit.
Off of the head of Mueller again, or actually that was Brockmeyer. Now a loose ball over on the near side sideline. And a throw in by Hensler off of a couple of bodies, and it stays into the offensive zone for the Lancers. Here's Munoz sending it up. And Nauman gets it up to Richardson. Richardson trying to find Martin, led her just a little bit too far though. Bridges is going to track down that ball, and it's going to go across the end line, and it's going to be another goal kick restart here for the Lancers. Let's go ahead and thank the Junior Service Club of Collinsville. Since 1934, the Junior Service Club has been providing women in the area an opportunity to make a difference with fundraisers and projects to help the needy in Collinsville. They have a new website, does the Collinsville Junior Service Club. They'd like you to check it out, collinsvillejsc.com. That's collinsvillejsc.com. That's where you can find information on their events or the Collinsville Junior Service Club's Facebook page. Mueller trying to track down another loose ball. She does so. Got a defender on each side. Rindelman will come out and pick that up before anyone else could get there, including her own teammates. She'll send the ball back out.
Mueller powered Munoz off the ball down there, but 3 defenders for the Kahoks pretty much just built that wall there and led the ball back to Rindelman.
Clock continues to run. 18:45 left to play here in this second half with Collinsville trailing 2-1. Ball sent up by Collinsville. Martin trying to trace it down, couldn't get there first. And now it's sent down on a bouncer, and Tantillo handles it. And we'll put the ball back into play. Almost made it to midfield, then it made it into the offensive zone for Collinsville once again. And Destiny Johnson mishit that ball, got her toe stuck in the turf before she struck the ball.
Didn't affect it too much as the ball found its way to Riley Harris, but Harris sends the ball up and it goes out the back.
We need to hurry up and get this game going on here. Severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for the area, and looks like the severe thunderstorms are just outside of the 255-270 loop right now, so maybe 45 minutes from now.
Well, that would, yeah, even if we went in through overtime and PKs, that would probably be about 45 minutes or so.
Yeah. I noticed it started getting a little darker around the area, so I brought up the old radar screen, and I'm like, whoa.
You'd hate to, if it came down to it, just have to come back for last couple minutes of overtime or just the PKs if the Storms came in at the very, very end.
All the way down to the offensive zone for the Lancers. It's a foot race, and winning that race was Bella Hensler over Allie Thomas. Thomas, though, gets the ball back, popped out front, and a whistle will stop the action, as they will say that it went out of bounds, and it's going to be a goal kick restart here for Collinsville as the Kahawks trail by 1 goal. Let's go ahead and thank Pack Mail. They are locally owned and operated. Mr. Ryan Combs is the proud owner of that establishment there on the Beltline Road, right next to Walgreens. P.O. boxes, shipping materials, containers, climate-controlled self-storage, they have it all at Pack Mail. You can visit them at 407 Beltline Road in Collinsville. Online, WeShipSt.Louis.com, or you can call 346-4884. Here is Courtney Martin trying to track down the ball before it goes out of bounds. She was not successful in that endeavor. And the throw-in, handled by Belleville East, but it comes to Hensler off of her head. And now to Destiny Johnson. Johnson, I don't think she's had a break this whole game except for halftime, has she?
She may have been out there just about the whole time if she got out maybe way earlier in the game, but it's definitely been in here throughout the second half. She got hooked there a bit.
Coach Smith says, she's a sophomore. She can handle it. She's young. Munoz, near side sideline, sends one toward the goal off of a head of Courtney Martin and too high. Martin was in the right place at the right time.
What a leg on the freshman.
Tantillo was getting ready to break to her left because that's the way the ball was heading, but at the last second, Tantillo saw Martin cutting across and stopped because she knew Martin was probably going to plank that one in off one of her body parts, and I'm not really sure at this point if Martin would have just let that ball go. Tantillo might have been froze just by Martin being in the box, and maybe that ball goes in. We'll never know.
Yeah, what a great shot set in by the freshman Munoz. Put a big leg on that one.
Off of the leg of Knutson, down onto the feet of Destiny Johnson. Over on the far side now for Riley Harris. Harris even farther onto the sideline for Liljegren. Liljegren trying to find Harris, does so. Harris trying to get around a defender. That is Miranda Brockmeyer there providing the defense. Now the ball up into the box area and kicked out and back out to Richardson. Richardson has to wait for the ball to kind of stop bouncing for a minute. And now she gets the ball taken away from her on a sliding tackle there by Grace Brower. Brower pushed the ball all the way out of bounds. Collinsville will have a throw-in restart. It'll be Courtney Martin taking that responsibility once again with 14:20 left to play here in this second half. Martin's throw-in makes it into the box area and then off of a body and back out. And the ball will stay with Collinsville, so it'll be a throw-in from down near where they take the corner kick.
Dark clouds off behind us here.
Yep. Saw those too. Another throw-in by Martin. It wedges itself down in a body. Tantillo is overcommitted. Loose ball and just wide. Tantillo committed way out to her right. The ball ended up way over to her left. The only thing stopping it was Annie Brown, who was hugging that far post over there. And then the ball came down, and Collinsville sent it just wide of the near side post. 13:30 left to play here in this second half. Time is becoming more and more of an issue here as it continues to tick away, and Collinsville trailing by 1 goal.
The breakdowns are mounting for Belleville East. It's just worked out for them that the Kahoks haven't put it in yet. The Kahoks just need to keep attacking.
That's what they're doing. They've been keeping the ball in the offensive zone quite a lot. Now Hensler will throw it in off of the head of Courtney Martin, right to Jalen Richardson. Richardson lost control of the ball, and now the Lancers come up with it. Here is Mueller, who had a golden opportunity a little while ago to score a goal, but shot it right at Claire Rindelman. Back at midfield, Voss. Looking, surveying, trying to figure out who to send it to. She sends it to Richardson, and then Richardson shoved down from behind by Annie Brown, and no call again. Tell you what, man, they could have issued Annie Brown about 3 yellow cards here in this game, if not at least 1 red card.
About half the players stopped playing on that, too.
Yeah, because you expect a whistle.
The Kahoks sent that shot in, Tantillo saved it. But half the players weren't even moving, expecting a call.
Nice stop there by Hensler. She gets the ball on her feet, moves the ball forward, and then gets taken out on the play by Brower. No call again. Courtney Martin comes up with the ball, and she gets taken out by Brower. Oh, this time Brower got more ball than she did body, but Brower is sliding into second base almost every 15 seconds here.
Hensler moves with such speed, it looks like a player played the ball more, but it was cleared away.
Off of the head of Brown, onto the feet of Hensler. She sends it back up into the box, but it's going to be wide, and I think she was trying to pass it to Courtney Martin over on the far left wing, but
she hadn't cut in enough yet
to
find her.
So 11 and a half minutes to go. 2-1, Lancers with the lead. Let's go ahead and thank Mike and Nancy Cluck. They are proud graduates of Collinsville High School, and now they are proud owners of their very own Allstate agency. It's called the Cluck Family Allstate Agency. It's in Glen Carbon on 159, just when you get into the city of Glen Carbon or the village of Glen Carbon. Right across the street from the IHOP there. For a free quote, you can give them a call at 205-6060. You can also check out their Allstate Agency website or their Facebook page to connect with them today.
Louie draws that foul. Kahoks get this kick here.
Voss sends it up, doesn't waste any time, and it doesn't hit anyone. 1 bounce, and right into the hands of Grace Tantillo. Collinsville has already seen their run of 7 straight Southwestern Conference championships come to an end this year. With that, they have 6 regional trophies in a row to their credit. Trying to keep that streak alive. Coach Clay Smith lost. The very first year he was head coach, he lost in the regionals and has not lost in the regionals since.
Lost the regionals that year to Granite, who went on to win state.
These two teams last met in the playoffs right here 3 years ago, May of 2015. Collinsville won that game 7-1. And Coach Smith has not lost at all to Belleville East in his 7+ years at the helm here of the girls soccer program. Play has kind of dragged on here recently as we had a lot of action down on the Collinsville offensive zone in front of Tantillo. Now down here in front of Rindelman is where the play is taking place. Collinsville comes away with the ball for a moment. Here is a whistle. It's going to go against Belleville East. I would have rather seen that whistle not be blown because Katie Knutson got a hold of one and sent it back up to midfield. Now the ball is going to be placed all the way back down about 20 yards away from Rindelman.
Yeah, play stalled out down there with it in Belleville East offensive zone. They know they don't need a goal, so they just take their time, stall it out there, and the Kahoks eventually have to wrestle the ball back from here. We'll get this restart on the foul.
Ball up the sideline. Now back out toward midfield. Race for the ball. Nice move, Riley Harris. Harris trying to send it up to Martin, but wrong direction. Now the ball at midfield. Here is Hensler once again. Hensler off of the body of Brower, and that ball is out of bounds. Collinsville will keep it. Courtney Martin will throw it in. Off of Richardson, and right before Liljegren could get there, and there is Richardson. Oh, baby. Jalen Richardson had the ball find her off of the body of Faith Liljegren. At that point, Tantillo had already committed way out front, and Richardson found an easy path to that goal, and we are tied at 2.
A little bit of a mistake by Liljegren. She wasn't able to send it in there after Tantillo over pursued, but she luckily found the foot of Jalen Richardson, who scores the goal, and the Kahoks tie it here with 8:12 to go.
We are tied.
So that doesn't work out for Belleville East there about 3 minutes ago when they just were trying to stall time out there. In a blink of an eye, the Kahoks have tied it up here, and now back to the drawing board here for both teams, and we're also trying to stay ahead of some storms.
Yeah, because if they start seeing lightning, they're going to postpone this game. And
yeah, because the lightning will come before the
the
storms will hit, so they'll draw these teams off, and it'll be a question of whether or not they would come back tomorrow or
well, it can't be Wednesday.
Play it, or well, I don't think it can be tomorrow because Belleville East won with graduation tomorrow, so it could be a late night tonight just to wait for these storms to pass.
Could be. They will. Just a matter of how much time will pass as they pass. And
everybody starts scurrying here in front of us.
The rain has started to fall. And me with my broken window. I was hoping this game was going to be over before the rains came so I could take care of that, but apparently that's not going to happen. 7 minutes left to play. Rain starts falling. And play continues.
Since, a 5 o'clock game, varsity games usually start right about this time right now, so there's some time to work with here if they want to wait for the storms to pass, if we have to have a stoppage.
Mueller gets free, and Rindelman comes out and makes a save. A sliding save just before Mueller could get there. And Collinsville stays alive. 6.5 minutes to go here in this second half. Ball gets past the defense. If the rain starts blowing in this way, we're going to have to shut this window. You know that, right?
He'll win, or you'll have to start shoving it over. We'll move the camera back as we need. Kahoks with a chance here. Down here in the offensive zone with 6 minutes to go. Martin throws it in the box. Richardson misses the header.
Doesn't look like it's here yet, so just a little pre-sprinkle before the storms get here. That ball ends up going across the line. We're going to have a corner kick coming up here for Collinsville. Clock continues to move. 5:45 left to play here in this second half. Richardson ready to go with the corner kick. Here it is. It's out front and high off of the head of Liljegren and over the end line. So Collinsville will give the ball back to the Lancers. And the Lancers will get a goal kick restart with 5:15 left to play here in this second half. It's on the way. Out to midfield off of Mueller. Now Chrisman picks it up for Collinsville, and Richardson sends it up into the box on the left side. Courtney Martin turns around, gives it to Chrisman, and across the end line it goes. And we are going to have another corner kick. This one is going to come from the near side corner.
Lean up the camera here to try to get this kick.
Hopefully Collinsville can capitalize on one of these corner kicks here so we can avoid overtime and avoid storms. Richardson sends it out the other side, on the ground, in front, turning around, trying to get a foot on the ball was Faith Liljegren, but I believe that was accidentally kicked out of bounds by Riley Harris, excuse me, as we are down to 4 minutes and 10 seconds left to go here in regulation. Once again, Harlan will set the ball down and get us kicked to a restart here. Collinsville just wants to keep the ball down in the offensive zone, off the body of Chrisman. And then Chrisman runs into Lauren Boucher. And now the Lancers turn the ball over. It's a foot race. Courtney Martin wins the race, sets the ball into the box, and then the Lancers will just send it out of bounds. It'll be a throw in here by Bella Hensler. Hensler finds the feet of Chrisman down on the near sideline. 3.5 minutes to go here in regulation in a 2-2 contest.
Kahok will throw it in again.
This one coming from almost near where they have the corner kicks. Here is the throw in by Courtney Martin. It's high and deep off of the head out front of Destiny Johnson. And again, across the end line.
What they want to do, get into the head there of Johnson, but she ain't able to angle it towards the goal like she needs to.
Restart handled by Harlan once again. All the way back out to midfield. Voss and Lexi Munoz will send it over to the far side for Riley Harris. Harris. That ball ends up going out of bounds. We have tornado sirens going off, folks. I think that we are going to have to cancel and postpone this game right now.
And they're going to stop this play. I've never seen tornado